Welcome back. In today's video, taking a look at the Senate map and what the Republicans would need to do to get to a supermajority in the Senate. So to accomplish this, the Republicans right now, they're at 51 Senate seats. They would need a net 9-seat gain to get up to that 60-seat supermajority. Not going to be easy, and right now, given the current political landscape, it's on the fringes of highly unlikelihood, but still not completely impossible. The Republicans, they have been looking forward to these 2018 midterms for a number of years, given the fact that the Democrats have to defend 26 seats in comparison to the Republicans, who will have to defend 9. But on top of that, the Democrats are defending 10 Senate seats in states where Donald Trump was able to beat Hillary Clinton. So in terms of the Senate makeup of this map going into 2018, it's very favorable for the Republicans. But again, based on the current political landscape, it is going to be tough for the Republicans to pick up a lot of seats. Right now, their best case scenario is probably that 53 to 55 Senate seat stake where they gain a handful of seats. But on the higher end, it's not completely impossible that they could get up to a super majority. In my last video, I made a map showing the Democrats' pathway of getting up to a majority in the Senate at 51 seats. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it down in the video description. But coming into this one, starting off here, we have 38 seats for the Democrats, 47 for the Republicans, and 15 matchups that is worth talking about here, where either side could possibly go on and win some of these. So starting off, ones that are in the lean Republican range, I'm going to hand those over to the Republicans. That's going to be keeping Texas with incumbent Ted Cruz. The polling has been looking a little bit better for Cruz as of late, and what's likely to be a competitive matchup there in the state of Texas. Also, Tennessee, they don't have the incumbency advantage, and also the Democrats have a pretty solid candidate running there, the former Tennessee governor Phil Bredesen, but Marsha Blackburn ahead in the polling right now, and that would also be a keep for the Republicans. And then a Senate seat that they could very well flip here, that's in the lean Republican category as well. Challenger U.S. Representative of the at-large district in North Dakota is Kevin Cramer, taking on incumbent Heidi Heitkamp, so also handing that one over to the Republicans. That gets them up to the 50 Senate seats needed to hold the majority in this chamber. Of course, if it's a 50-50 tie, the Republican Vice President Mike Pence is able to break that tie. So out of the 12 Senate races left, the Republicans would still need to pick up 10 of them to get to that supermajority. So next, I want to talk about some current Republican Senate seats that they have to hold on to. Starting off with Dean Heller out in Nevada, going to be a very close election. The polling has consistently been very close. Nevada is a little bit more of a Democrat-leaning state, but the fact that they do have the incumbency advantage with Heller is still giving them a shot to keep that Senate seat. Down in Arizona, the Republicans, they have the U.S. Representative from Arizona's 2nd Congressional District, Martha Mcsalley, trying to take over where Jeff Flake is leaving off. I think if Flake was running in this one, it'd probably give the Republicans a little bit better shot. But then with that being said, Flake does not have the highest approval rating, certainly amongst his constituents in his home state of Arizona. So perhaps it is better that the Republicans are going in with a different nominee. And then on the Democrat side, we have Krysten Sinema, U.S. Representative from Arizona's 9th Congressional District. She's generally been ahead in the polls. Arizona is a slightly Republican-leaning state, kind of the opposite of Nevada, which is slightly Democrat-leaning. But in a best-case scenario, obviously, you would expect the Republicans to hold on in Arizona and keep that one. So the races that we have left on the map here, 10 more. The Republicans would have to win 8 of them to get to that supermajority, and all of them are currently head by Democratic incumbents. So we'll start off here with the states that are listed right in that toss-up range. That's going to be Rick Scott, the Florida governor, taking on incumbent Bill Nelson, as well as Claire McCaskill, the incumbent Democrat, taking on Josh Hawley, the Missouri Attorney General. The polling in these two races have just been extremely close. It's been going both ways in very tight results. But obviously, for those Republicans to get up to that 60-seat margin, they would have to win these toss-up seats. And then another one that has slipped a little bit more so towards the Democrats away from being a toss-up has been this race in Indiana. Indiana, of all the Midwestern states, is a bit more right-leaning. Joe Donnelly, the incumbent Democrat, has been performing better in the polls as of late. He's being challenged by former state representative Mike Braun. Again, this is one that the Republicans would absolutely have to have if they were to reach that supermajority margin. It's going to be an uphill battle. And now the states that are left on the map, all of these are in that lean Democrat to likely Democrat and even potentially solid Democrat range with the incumbents. So the Republicans, they would have to pick up 5 of these 7 seats. I think the 2 most likely in this scenario would be Montana and West Virginia. These are 2 states that went overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. Perhaps Trump can have a positive effect on the Republican challengers in these 2 races. So with West Virginia, incumbent Democrat Joe Manchin taking on the West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey. The polling's been pretty solid for Manchin, but not completely out of the realm of possibility that Morrisey picks this upset. And then also over in the state of Montana, you have John Tester, who polls favorably, maybe in terms of his head-to-head matchup with Rosendale, not doing quite as well consistently as in the polls as what Manchin is doing with Morrisey. But again, a Republican-leaning state that they would need to pick up to get to that supermajority. That just leaves us with 5 states left. We have some Midwestern states, and then also moving out to the east, we have Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Those 4 states Trump was able to pick up against Hillary Clinton, battleground states there. And then also New Jersey is looking to be a pretty competitive matchup because of the incumbent Bob Menendez ranking as one of the least favorable senators out of all of the 100 senators currently standing. So in terms of these states, the 3 results that I think the Republicans have their best shot in would probably be starting with Wisconsin. It would be a big upset, but Leah Vukmir taking on Tammy Baldwin. Again, this is kind of, we're getting into a big stretch range here, but to get to that supermajority, you'd have to pick up some of these surprise upsets. So starting in Wisconsin there with Leah Vukmir taking down Tammy Baldwin. Moving out to New Jersey, Democrats are a little bit worried about this one because the polling has generally been pretty close, and Menendez is such a low favorable senator that it is possible that he does lose this one to Bob Hugin, the corporate executive. So next in line, I would say, is probably that New Jersey race. And then we just have these 3 states here left with Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, where all the incumbent Democrats are polling consistently very strong. We have Debbie Stabenow in Michigan, Sherrod Brown in Ohio, and Bob Casey in Pennsylvania. The Republicans would need to pick up one of these. Again, not going to be easy, but I would say their best chance is, I would say probably Jim Renacci in Ohio. Maybe you could make a case for Lou Barletta in Pennsylvania. I still think that Michigan is probably out of reach with John James going against Debbie Stabenow. So again, it's very unlikely based on the polling results that we're getting, but I would say probably Ohio is their best chance there, even though Sherrod Brown is very favorably rated there in his home state of Ohio. And then the Democrats could keep Michigan and Pennsylvania, and that would give them 40 compared to the 60 for the Republicans for that supermajority. Again, guys, this is highly unlikely based on the current political landscape. Perhaps if Hillary Clinton was president and there wasn't that Democratic enthusiasm, this would have been something more so on the table for the Republicans than what we're currently seeing, where the Republicans are just trying to fight to hold on to that majority of having 50 senators. So we'll see how this all plays out. I just kind of wanted to throw together a hypothetical of the Republicans' pathway to get to that super majority, and again, we'll see how that plays out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more. Leave a comment on how you see things playing out in the upcoming midterms here in the Senate. I hope to see you back here for future videos. Bye.